Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3, and where we left off we'd dealt with several fairly large aspects, so I'm just going to go through them quickly. So number one, we have pretty much nearly liberated all of Norway. We have Ronald Adam up here in the north, and Stavanger is the last of the southern Norwegian lands which we need to recover. In the far north, the French are moving up with their small troops to retake Narvik. I can't say that it's been a difficult campaign, it's not been too bad really. And I'm now moving into position to put troops to defend Malmo, due to the fact that the Germans are on our doorstep. On top of that, we have the attack in Yugoslavia going on. And there's a few British divisions intermingled in here that are on Expeditionary Force because they get them in events. But as you can see, there's a lot of Greek units, and it looks like their war economy is really kicked up. So let's just, but it doesn't look like, Yugoslavia is going to fall anytime soon. It looks like they're doing fairly well. In North Africa, we've had a series of victories, and we've pushed them all the way back to Tripoli. And that's their last port. Now, I've held back on going on a further offensive purely because of the fact that I feel like my units need to recover somewhat. In East Africa, we've completely decimated the Italians. They've had it now. There's nothing really else that they can do. And that means I can start relocating troops from Africa because there's, well, a fair amount. 400,000 troops here. Plus these guys. And any other units. And I'm going to relocate some of them to North Africa, but some of them to India, and some of them to home defense. On the naval standpoint, we've pretty much well and truly defeated the Italian Navy. So the Italian Navy has lost several battleships. And what they have remaining is pretty majorly damaged. The German Navy is also in a complete state of disrepair. We've sunk all of their major surface units that they have out, and the only thing they're doing now is rebuilding said surface units, as judging by the huge amount of destroyers that they're going to try and pump out. And every single destroyer and battleship that they make is one less tank division, and one less aircraft for the invasion of the Soviet Union, who we're going to need to support avidly. But anyway, let us continue on with our grand campaign. Still negative on convoys, but what can I really do? I can't do much more than I'm doing, to be perfectly fair. And we've now got an absolute shed ton of supply, so I'm just going to let that tick. And unfortunately, we have got this battle that we're trying to deal with. But I hope that the Australian Infantry Brigade actually advances. But we've got fresh troops making our way up in that direction, along with the 6th Australian. So let's just make sure that they move up. And in fact, we have an airbase, so let's move up our fighter cover. Because we do have our fighters somewhere around here. Yeah, there we go. Let's move them up. And then I think we'll also base all of our light bombers out of here. Let's move up. Yeah, let's move up those fighter bombers as well. I think air power really was the deciding factor in Norway. It seems like air power was the deciding factor. I don't think they're ever going to make it across, We've nearly got our garrison in place now to defend the Straits at Malmo. And there we go. We've got our garrison in position there as well. I'm going to move these guys up to here. Got some more escorts out. We are losing so many convoys at the moment. Let's just hold fire on that bit for a minute. Running a little bit low on supply, but they are in such a small pocket that I don't think it matters too much. No, I'm getting under. Let's give them someone decent, as they're a decent French unit. They chose to fight with us, so no complaints from me. Got a whole bunch of frigates due out soon, so that's good. Well, I hope everyone's having a good week. I'm having a good one so far. It's not been too bad. Just been a bit busy with work. Managed to sink another destroyer there. You know what? I'm going to send the militia divisions north because this is pretty much under control now. And I'm going to put our fighters on a combat duty. Looks like they'll easily win that. And then I can use these troops, or these units, for ground attack. Now let's see if our light bombers have range, and they do. Let's go for ground attack with them as well. So the ground attack begins. We have 22 air units based out of here, which is a lot. It's a fair, decent whack of units. And I want to remind everyone, we only went into the defensive because of an issue with the with an event that caused our units to lose a huge amount of morale / organisation. So, we just got structural improvements, which is very good. These are all 40 techs. Let's keep that officer ratio increasing. We've still got a huge amount of this supply. You know what? I'll send the 7th North as well, why not? It looks like Francis Tucker has successfully defended. Advanced defend, look at that. Not great. And I'm going to actually do a ground attack there now. Got the railway level 5. And the crashing isn't too bad. I did see a couple of people commenting about the crashing. It's manageable for now. I'll just have to, you know, if it gets worse, we'll just have to deal with it. But at the moment, it's not too bad. It's not great, but it's at least not completely broken, let's put it that way. And we might finally be finishing on the upgrades that we had. going to recover some of our... There we go. That was a very good victory. You know what? I am going to take my air units. And I'm going to move them up as well. Purely because I'm going to do some air supply in these two areas. There we go. Now, once we've got our forces ready, we're going to go for a straight attack. Right, so artillery has increased. Let's get the super heavy battleships and the capital ship medium air artillery. We'll do the trade agreement, why not? And we'll take that Norwegian trade arrangement. Does Copenhagen not have a port? Ooh, interesting. No port. That might be why we can't cross. We might lose all of those units, but... oh well. Let's go for the Netherlands. And we're just rebuilding our organisation here. We give it another couple of weeks. Then we'll launch the final step of this invasion. Although saying that, they're pretty weak all across the line. Let's send them south, and then let's send these guys north. And then let's counterattack. Counterattack. Attack is the best form of defense, and we are pushing. And speaking of which, there is what's left of the Italians in North Africa. So, how many have we managed to get? 87,000. Very good. Our first capture of the day. There's a free Star Wars reference for you. Okay, just waiting for the frigates now. So what's that? 15th of June? First victory. Very good. Trade agreement with Afghanistan. And this most definitely is the end of the North African campaign if we break through here. Yeah. Pushing in. Easily pushing in. There we go. Let's move up our HQ units. They are a little bit far behind. Richard O'Connor has become quite the general. And how's Monty looking? Ah, he's a level 5 now, so that's good. Let's see if we can get O'Connor up to a level 5 as well. And that was enough to force back that HQ division. We just need to take Tripoli, where they have 19 HQ units. Are you for real? Okay, there goes Yugoslavia. Not great, I must say, but looks like they're going to get a decent amount of units out. And they've got units in reserve to form another defensive line. But there's no way they're going to hold. And they're counter-attacking. And it looks like the Americans are slowly making their way towards us. We're being attacked by circa... what's that? 7,000 soldiers. It's not enough. And you know what? I'm going to leave that militia unit on that port. Let's just leave as many militia units on the port as possible. Just don't want to get naval invaded in our rear. Mr. Hobart Percy and his funnies have been lighting up the campaign. Get a little bit more into officers. Do the Bank of International Settlements and do 4,000 supply for that. And those frigates are nearly ready to come out as well. I'm going to, I think, send the 6th North along with this unit. And then I'm going to send the cavalry around like so. We're going to spread out slightly. Good. And you know what? I'm going to send Coom Force in this direction as well. I'm going to use these infantry divisions as part of the spearhead. I'm determined to force my way into Tripoli before the Germans arrive. You know what? Let's use these troops to facilitate that, along with some extra air power. It just doesn't look like they can counter us. And I'm hoping these frigates turn the tide of the naval war. Right, just won that battle. They lost nearly 4,000 troops in that engagement. That is shocking. Right, push. Go. 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 They've only got 13,000 troops. And they're not front rate. Terrain's having a bit of a negative impact, but nothing that we can't handle. And you know what? Let's move out the fleet. Because we can catch some light cruisers. And we get a little bit of a shore bombardment support. And let's start getting these frigates out. So they have 90 sub-attack. So they're going to be very useful in defending the British Isles from submarine warfare. They are dedicated ASW units. Pignetti, look at that. He's an old guard and he's on a motorized unit. That is shockingly bad. Speaking of which, we've overtaken some Italian units there. I just want to take Tripoli. And there we go, more frigates. And I'll arrange that very soon and get them out there. And I think the end of the Indian campaign is going to be due very soon. Indeed it is. Sort of fitting that the last thing that they would be left with would be a light armor division or unit. That's it. So ends the East Africa campaign. You know what? I can just... I'll just leave that brigade of infantry there. Ah, there goes Tripoli. Ooh. Reinforcements. Oh, that's cute. Keep it going. Really doesn't matter how much they reinforce by. They have had it. And I'm going to encircle them completely. It's just more units to be chucked into the meat grinder. And can you reach? Not quite. Although tactical bombers might. Right, I think the next thing to do is to do a reorganization of our troops in this area. So I'm going to take all of my units that are here. Oh, you know what? Let's just do all of it. Let's move them to Aden. Yeah, that's going to be best. When are they due to attack? 17 hours? 23 hours? 30 hours and 29 hours, okay. Too bad. Okay, there goes the next level of central planning. Let's get the attritional warfare. And I think artillery flexibility. More frigates. So we've got 20 units of frigates. Now, what's their range like? 2,300. Oh, that's really good actually. That's a really good range. Happy days. Well, that means we can use them for a whole load of different things. So they're going to attack now. And in fact, let's use our carrier wings to also do ground attack. We need to break in Just a bunch of HQs. Right, move that unit up to support them. And what's here? Another bunch of HQs? Yep. We need to win the Battle of Tripoli. It is imperative. Because once we've won that, the whole North African campaign can be called to a halt. So the 9th CAG. These are for our new carriers. In fact, is the Lustrious still based? Yeah, you haven't got your CAGs yet. And you know what? I'm going to pull back all of my units. And then I'm going to reorganize them to have frigates in, I think. How's Norway looking? Oh, good. We've pushed up. Oh, and they left. What? Why did they leave? Okay, the German AI is wigging out. Move them round. Cavalry can just be another thorn in the side of the Germans. And we've got yet more frigates coming online. I must have built an absolute shed ton. Yeah, I did. Get next level of rolling artillery. Really want to crush them here. Rapid fire support, that's good. It's a thing I haven't ever seen before, actually. Agriculture. Ooh, we can get some of these. Okay, let's get the ground attack focus, because that's really useful. This is the lessons from Blitzkrieg effect. We are disposing of them extremely quickly. And then here. Yeah, it's just a bunch of HQs again. Oh, we've got a naval battle going on. We did lose another destroyer, but it's just a destroyer. Short barrel AT gun. Let's get the interdiction. More frigates. It's 26 in waiting. I must say, the Battle of Tripoli has been probably the most difficult thus far. But now it's finished. Okay, so we'll get there in 6 days' time. Looks like they're trying to get more units landed. We're not going to let them, are we? That one landing delayed our victory for another few days, and I'm not letting that happen again. Got one more frigate due out. We'll another CAG. And that'll take us up to 30. Okay, we've got equal destroyer numbers to equal frigate numbers. There. Let's bring these units back. Anything that's left in the channel, let's bring it back. And then we'll need to have a think about home defense. Because our fleets have taken a pretty sizable mauling. And I don't need to keep them there anymore. Let's move them back as well. In fact, let's bring home all of our naval assets now. And we'll base them all in Scapa Flow for the home fleet units. We've nearly arrived with that one. Let's move them up. 2nd of July to finish off the what's left of those German units. Looks like the Swedish were able to do a little encirclement there. And our units are completely out of supply here. We need to get that port established. This could be our way into Germany later, you know, if they don't actually kick us out of Copenhagen. It feels like the AI is wigging out a bit. That's another naval battle. That they can't get out of. And actually, speaking of bombing runs, whoa, these guys have taken a hammering. There's only 2 destroyers there anyway, so whatever was there is well and truly dead. Oh, are we seriously getting the next... Oh no. I apologise. That was not the next run. I was thinking, God, it's just the last of our frigate units that we need. And we've got another 30 or so being built, plus some new destroyers. Get the integrated AFV support unit. Improved security units. Let's push that. We don't need that anymore. We don't need those 41 techs. Right, what are we up to here then? Capital on 40. Engines. Turbines. All useful. Looks like we're nearly done pushing in. O'Connor is so close to being a level 5 commander now. It's actually ridiculous. There we go. That's an encirclement of 22,000 troops. And with the encirclement penalty, They'll be fighting even more weakly now. And this is all ahead of schedule. Apparently we're wasting a small amount on production. And this is how it would have gone if we'd had some proper leadership in the early war, as demonstrated by O'Connor's brilliant offensive here, which has led to the complete decimation of the North African army. We're just getting all of our units together now in Aden, ready to... Well, once we've taken them off garrison duty, I'm going to have to spend some time reorganizing, I think. There'll probably be a bit of a gap between these videos. Push. In fact, you know what? We'll take this division, like so. I'll take the Highlands, like so. That's probably the best way of doing it. And we do have, I think... Yeah, we do have some transport capability. So I'm going to do some transporting supply to the Danish units here. And we're going to recapture this island. So let's go for it. Go for air supply. Some of it's got to get through. And the pincer's beginning to shut. This would be pretty embarrassing for the Italians, I must say. Let's do a save. And then I'm going to do some reorganization off camera once we've dealt with Tripoli. Because things have sort of slowed now to a bit of a crawl. So I'll need to start planning some more invasions. I just clicked that onto AI control, didn't I? Mistake. Right. And Greece isn't going to stick around. That's going to capitulate. But we can move on Crete, actually. That makes a fair amount of sense. And there we go. We're on the Battle of Tripoli. So we lost 4,200 troops. They lost 20,000. That is crazy. And there we go, that's the end of the North African campaign. Hot damn. Right, we've got the autosave. There we go, and we've got now a battle. We don't have an air combat battle, though. There we go. I lost another couple of naval units. Oh, we get the Canadian Reinforcements event. So, we will send the Canadian Corps to London, because North Africa has been won. And would you look at that? That's cool. And they even bring some armor with them. Very good. Could do with that. Right, we've got air supply going on there now. How's our port looking? Not bad. 40. December time. We're pushing them in the north. Right, let's reposition our naval assets and then think about what we're going to target next. I feel like we should move to secure the Dodecanese and Crete. Let's secure these islands. Then let's secure Caligari and I think... yeah, so Sardinia and Caligari, and then I think we should move to secure Sicily. Create another, like, flashpoint here, and then we could do another naval invasion slightly further north. I think that'll be the best thing to do. And there's Winston Churchill, broadcasting national things, and the 8th Australian Division has joined us in Malaya. Ah, very good. And that's not a bad division either, so that's useful. That can go along with our French divisions that we've inherited there. Got a decent core of troops now, at least. Just gotta wait for the rest of these guys to get into position. Let's just finish the fighting in North Africa in this episode, because they're down to their last couple of areas. And then we'll have a think about what we want to do next. Build some garrisons, I think, just to garrison the North African mainland. And let's get the Imperial Ministry of War. And let's get the entertainment show. The Ministry of War gives us a little bit of a land organization buff. So originally we were looking at, let's say for this light infantry division or light tank division, 97. Once the buff comes into play, 101. Pay that. We'll nationalise the private sector. It's very on point with the election going on in the UK. And recon unit wise, we're on 1940. You can do that fire control computer. We've got very modern units now. Extremely modern. And we need to upgrade some fleet things as well. Come on, finish the job. This is the last bit of Italian soldiery in North Africa. In Africa as a whole, and I want them dealt with. They will rue the day they declared war on Great Britain. That way. We're going to go round. And Hobart Percy here has become quite the little general. He's got his battle expert. He's got the Grand Service Medal. We'll take the 18-inch gun. Oh, and is that another... Nope. I must be thinking of something else. And they really do have nothing left. Hopefully we'll cut them off soon. So the Italians will be reeling from this loss. It'll be interesting to see how the German AI reacts, because, you know, they have taken such a hammering. The Greeks have managed to get a fair amount of their forces back. Waiting for this cavalry division to move into position. Station security is at 1942 level. So we can get the next level of the fleet carrier class. The British war economy has been a resounding success. Sure, we're pumping a lot into convoys, but once I get those frigates rearranged, that whole issue will hopefully resolve itself. They get there on the 7th. Hopefully they'll cut off that HQ garrison division. Yeah, indeed they have. This is going to be the end of them. '83 units based out of here. With a whole load of new destroyers coming online. Go on, push them out. Doesn't matter how many medals this guy's got. Oh, plate thickness. Just want to make sure we got all of our troops out. Yeah, it looks like we have. And we are now moving on to Narvik. Ships are all getting a bit of a rundown, you know, a repair cycle, let's put it that way. So we are taking convoy losses at the moment, but it could be worse. And that, my friends, is that. So that ends the African campaign, and we've got it finished in 1940. That was surprisingly easy. The Italians folded really around Tripoli, and the moment that they folded there was really nothing else that they could do. And now we have free reign in the Mediterranean on where we want to head next. I am thinking that we try and take these two islands here. We keep a hold of Crete because it's got some airfields, you know, level 4, but we can build them up to level 10s. And then if we position some strategic bombers here, we might be able to bomb Romanian oil fields, which would be a bit of a strategic issue for Romania and for Germany. I'm going to spend some time off camera rearranging our naval assets in the UK, in the home regions. Now that we've got these frigates online, our forces have taken an absolute hammering from the German Navy, but equally, they've not been left unscathed themselves. So overall, I think things are going relatively well. As I say, I'm a little bit confused as to why the Germans haven't moved to try and take back their lands here yet, but hey, maybe they know something that we don't. It looks like my units are starting to recover a little bit of their organisation now. So, in the north, we're going to retake Narvik, and in East Africa, where we've also won a grand victory, I'm going to move all of these units to new areas, and I'm going to have a think about where I want them to be moved to. I have a feeling I'm probably going to send the majority of the reserve and African rifle units to India to form a garrison stroke army there. And then I'm also going to send like the infantry, the first rate units, I think, either to North Africa to do some invading work, or to England for home defence. I'm not sure yet. I have to have a think on where the best places to cause harm to the Axis are. The majority of the units are probably going to have to be sent to deal with Japan, because I'm going to need a fair amount of units to help garrison the West Indies, as well as garrison these units here. But one thing I'm really glad I did is upgrading my garrison units, so they've got more than 800 men, because now they're an actual proper garrison. They're moderately more useful than what we were dealing with, which was fuck all. And we've got a lot of Netherlands units here, so got a bit of everything, and I'm just going to, as I say, have to have a think about the best way to present everything and form a new line. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks again. Bye-bye.